This week we'll be going over all of the achievements in Bioshock Remastered Edition. This game has 65 achievements in total and has an average completion time of about 35 hours. And this was one that was requested over on the community Discord, link down in the description, by C. Marco. I've also put together a playlist with the rest of my Bioshock Remastered Edition achievement guides, so that'll also be linked down in the description below. And now, let's get into it. First off, we'll be working on Seriously Good at This for completing the game on the hardest difficulty setting, and Brass Balls for completing the game on hard difficulty without using a Vita Chamber. Now there is a difficulty past hard, but originally that was the hardest difficulty available and Survivor came out later on. So first we're going to go ahead and disable Vita Chambers from the settings so that we won't accidentally die and respawn, triggering that and ruining that achievement. Just make sure as you're going through the game to manually save pretty frequently so that you don't lose too much progress if you do die. I even had the game freeze up and crash multiple times during my playthrough, but that may just be because I was recording it at the same time. Still, it's a risk. And then we'll have to start our new game on hard difficulty. Now for these two achievements, you actually only need to start the game and finish it on hard mode, so once you get to the lighthouse and into Rapture, you can turn it down to easy. But just be sure that once you are about to go to the last fight that you set the difficulty back to hard, and then you'll get both of these. There are plenty of achievements that we'll be getting throughout our first playthrough, or at least working on. Historian is one of the big ones for finding every audio diary. There are 122 of these in the game, so I made a video specifically going through all of those. So just be sure to pull that up as you do this first playthrough to make sure that you get every single one of them, as all of them must be found in one playthrough. And now that we've started this first playthrough, there are a few story-related achievements that I'll go through quickly, as those are unmissable and you won't have to pay too much attention to make sure that you get them. We have completed Welcome to Rapture for successfully completing the Welcome to Rapture level in the beginning of the game. Then defeated Dr. Steinman for defeating the crazed J.S. Steinman later on once you catch up to them. A bit later on there's defeated Peach Wilkins for defeating Peach Wilkins, and yes, there's a pattern here for the unmissable story-related achievements. But then we switch it up and there's restored the forest for restoring the forest of Arcadia, completed Cohen's masterpiece for completing Cohen's great masterpiece, and then back to the pattern for defeated Andrew Ryan for defeating Andrew Ryan, broke Fontaine's mind control for breaking Fontaine's mind control, became a big daddy for becoming a big daddy, and finally defeated Atlas for defeating Atlas. Now with the unmissable achievements out of the way, let's get into why you're actually here, the missable achievements. Well, this first one's technically missable, but Atlas specifically tells you to do it, so this one is Toaster in the Tub for shocking an enemy in the water. Near the beginning of the game, you'll come up here to these splicers standing in water. Just shock one of them, and it'll travel through the water to shock both of them, getting you the achievement. It can also be done any other time that enemies are standing in the water, but this one's scripted to allow you to do it here, so this is going to be the easiest time to do it. Then we have a lot of different hacking achievements in the game. The first one, well, first two, are kind of unmissable because you have to do it to get through a door. We have one successful hack for performing one successful hack, and hacked a security bot for hacking a security bot. The hacking minigame is pretty easy, just get the liquid to flow to the exit and boom, successful hack. Next we have hacked a vending machine for hacking a vending machine. Any of the types of vending machines will work for this one, just hack it to get the achievement. Then hacked a turret for hacking a turret. Just like with the vending machines, you can hack any type of turret to get this achievement. We also have hacked a safe for hacking a safe, and hacked a security camera for hacking a security camera. Both very self-explanatory at this point. And then lastly, there's skilled hacker for completing 50 hacks. Just keep hacking things throughout the game, and you'll be able to get this one pretty easily. Moving on from those two, we have dealt with every little sister for either harvesting or rescuing every little sister in the game. Eventually you'll find your first little sister, and you'll have the choice to either rescue or harvest them. Past that point, you'll find big daddies wandering around protecting the little sisters, and in order to harvest or rescue these, you'll need to kill the big daddy, then walk up to them, and you'll get the choice. There's generally going to be multiple on each map, So if you pause the game, you'll see these icons down below showing you how many are on the map and if they've been dealt with or if they're still on the loose. Just make sure that you get all of them on each map before you move on to the next one. If you find a Big Daddy that's wandering all alone and you still have a little sister left to find on that map, you can follow it around until it beats on a hole in the wall to call a little sister out to come follow it. Then at that point you can kill the Big Daddy and deal with the little sister. Now as to your choice on whether to harvest or rescue the little sisters, for Little Sister Savior you're gonna need to complete the game without harvesting any little sisters. That means you'll need to only rescue them during your playthrough in order to get both of these achievements. Plus, Tenenbaum sends you teddy bear gifts for rescuing them, so it's a win-win. Of course, as you rescue these little sisters and collect these gifts, you'll be collecting Atom. For these next few achievements, we'll be spending Atom quite a bit. For Bot 1 slot, you'll need to purchase a Plasmid or Tonic slot in any track. Once you have some Atom, you can do this at the Garden Gatherer's vending machines. Just buy one of the additional slots for one of these tracks and you'll get the achievement. Then eventually you can get maxed 1 track for purchasing every slot in one of the Plasmid or Tonic tracks. And closer to the end of the game, as long as you're rescuing all of the little sisters, you should be able to get maxed all tracks for purchasing every slot in all 4 Plasmid and Tonic tracks. You'll of course want enough tonics to put in all of those tracks, which will also get you a Tonic Collector for collecting or inventing 53 tonics in the physical, engineering, and combat tracks. As long as you're looking around, you'll find a lot of these just sitting around in various places. You can also buy quite a few with Atom, and you can invent many with the U-Invent machines. Another way to get some of these is by researching enemies. So at one point, you're going to be asked to go retrieve a camera and use it to take pictures to research enemies. Research to Splicer you'll get for taking at least one research photo of a Splicer. Then there's Quality Research Photo for taking a research photo of the highest grade. Having multiple subjects and taking action shots are generally what increases the grade of the photos. There are then many achievements for maxing out your research for each enemy type. We have the one for Leadhead Splicers, Thuggish Splicers, Spider Splicers, Houdini Splicers, Rosies, Little Sisters, Nitro Splicers, and Bouncers. Going through all of these, plus researching the different types of robots, meaning turrets, cameras, and bots, will get you Prolific Photographer for taking one photo in every research group. As you take more of each, you'll eventually be able to get a Research PhD for maxing out all possible research. You'll have to take many pictures of these different enemies to actually max each one's research, so be sure to take as many as you can as you go. Technically, you can go back and farm pretty much any of them except for the Little Sisters and the bots. These you're going to need to make sure you're taking as many pictures of as possible during your playthrough. One thing that does make this a little bit easier though is that your research stays with you after you beat the game and start a new game plus. So if you don't completely get it done on this first run, don't worry too much, you're going to be able to get it done when we start our second playthrough. That's what I had to do. Then we have Lucky Winner for hitting the jackpot at a slot machine. These can be found in Fort Frolic directly after entering. Depending on your luck, this could be easy to get or could take a while. Just keep pulling the lever and repeating the magical phrase that we've learned from the gambling master himself, Trainwreck.
Book, 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 book.
Now moving on from that, we can go through the weapon upgrade related achievements. First there's upgraded a weapon for acquiring at least one weapon upgrade. And then we have achievements for fully upgrading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weapons, and finally for fully upgrading all available weapons. These can be done from the Power to the People machines hidden around the maps. Luckily with these, they also carry on to New Game Plus playthroughs, so if you miss one or two, it's not a huge deal, just activate some on the next playthrough to finish it out. But just to be safe, I'll quickly go over where you can find all of these machines on each map. On this first half of the maps, you'll find the first one here in Neptune's Bounty, on the freezer bottom floor. Then there won't be another one until we get to Arcadia, and it'll be here in the tree farm. Then there's one in the farmer's market in the winery cellar's bottom floor. Then moving on to the second half of the maps, we'll be able to get 2 in Fort Frolic. One will be over here in Le Marquis d'Epic, and the other will be over here in Sinclair Spirits. Then over in Hephaestus, we'll have one here in this circular area, and another in Kyber's office. Over in Apollo Square, we have the one in Hestia 4th floor, and then in Olympus Heights, we have one in Tenenbaum's apartment over here, and one in the middle of the Mercury Suites area here. Then for the last two, we'll go over to Point Prometheus, and we'll have one in the Atrium area, and the last one over in the Optimized Eugenics area. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to let me know down in the comments what you thought about the game, hit the like button, subscribe for more achievement guides, and if you want to support the channel even further, hit the join button to become a member. Moving on from those, we have the item inventing related achievements. Basic Inventor is for inventing at least one item. Just go up to one of these U-Invent machines and you can craft something for this achievement. Then Ammo Inventor for inventing all possible ammunition types. Of course, just go down the list of ammo types on the U-Invent machine to get this one done. And then we have Avid Inventor for successfully inventing at least 100 items. This does have to be 100 items during a single playthrough, unfortunately, but there are tonics that increase the amount of items that you can loot, some that reduce the cost of inventing, and one that even doubles the amounts of items that you get from inventing. If you get those and wait until the very end of the game, you can probably get this done on your first run, but going into New Game Plus and having those active from the beginning will for sure allow you to get it done. You can also go back and farm enemies for this pretty easily. One good spot is by going to the Beekeeper shop in Farmer's Market, activating the smoke, opening a few hives to spawn 3 splicers, and then killing them and repeating that. It's slow, but it is a way to farm materials if you need to. Then for the last 2 side achievements we'll try to get on our first playthrough, we have Irony for taking a picture of Sander Cohen's corpse. Now of course you could kill him near the end of Fort Frolic and take a picture of his corpse there, but in order to also get Found Cohen's room for entering Sander Cohen's personal quarters in Mercury Suites, we'll need to keep him alive for now. So then once we get to the Mercury Suites, we can go into his apartment, kill him there, and then get access to his personal room. If you kill him while he's in Fort Frolic, you won't actually be able to get into that room and you'll miss that achievement until you do another playthrough. Now once we get done with this first playthrough, we can start a new one to get A Man Chooses for beating the game on Survivor difficulty, and I chose the Impossible for completing the game on Survivor difficulty without using a Vita Chamber. So we're gonna do a New Game Plus run, load up the last save of our previous playthrough, and we'll have all of our research, tonics, and weapon upgrades. That'll help if you need to finish up some achievements, but will also make it easier to speedrun this last run. And just like with the hard run, as soon as you get into Rapture, you can swap it over to easy, and then change the difficulty back to Survivor before you go to the last area with the final boss. We can then finally move on to the challenge maps to get those achievements done. We have the Iron Team Rescuer for rescuing the little sister at the end, which you'll get while you're doing the speedrun for the Iron Team Expert achievement for rescuing the little sister on this challenge map in under 3 minutes. And I have standalone videos for these Expert Challenge map achievements in my playlist, which is linked at the end of the video as well as in the description. You can also get the Iron Team Pacifist for completing it without destroying any turrets, the same sort of way we got the other two. Just be careful that the rocket turrets don't shoot the turrets on the back wall, and you should be able to get it done pretty easily. Then we have the last one for this challenge map, the Iron Team Collector. This one is for finding all of the collectible roses on the map. Starting a new run, you'll go through like normal, but once you get up here to this desk in the office area, you'll grab this first rose here. Then we'll continue like normal, but make sure when it comes to running through the turret area that you use the target dummy to have the rocket turrets destroy all of the gun turrets. Then we'll keep going, but at the point where you have to freeze the Big Daddy and jump across it to grab a box of parts, you'll want to position it over to the left of the gap so that you can jump on top of it, and then jump and grab the second rose from up here. Then we'll go ahead and get to the last part where you open the door to allow the Big Daddy into the firing range. You'll want to kill it the same way as normal, but be sure that the final blow goes through when he is not frozen. If he's frozen when he dies, you won't actually be able to loot his body, and we need to be able to do that to grab the grenade launcher from him. We can then use that to shoot the middle rocket turret to kill it, and then shoot it again behind it to blow it back over to you and grab the third rose from it. Then for the last rose, we'll need to run back over here to this Big Daddy in the pressure plate room. You'll want to drop your target dummy on the pressure plate so that he'll run over and stand on it. And then you'll immediately run back across the firing range and go through the door to the starting area. Over there's going to be a secret panel that opens as long as the Big Daddy is standing on the pressure plate in that other room. This will be where you grab that final rose from. You can then just go ahead and rescue the little sister to get the achievement. Then we can go to a shocking turn of events rescuer for rescuing the little sister from this challenge map. And of course we also have the expert achievement, which is for rescuing the little sister in under 4 minutes. Go check out my video specifically going over this if you want to know how to do this run. Then we have a shocking turn of events master electrician for charging up the Ferris wheel 9 times during one run. This is going to require you to essentially follow all of the same steps as with the expert run, but you'll also need to grab the hacking tool from under here and gather all of the materials you can from the material boxes. Plus grab this weapon from back here, and you'll have to hack the vending machine to craft these 3 extra pieces of ammo to use. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the last one on this map, a shocking turn of events collector for finding all of the roses on this map. Starting out for this run, we'll go ahead and kill ourselves with the electric handle and proceed normally. Once this lady dies, you'll go in there and ride the elevator up to grab this first rose from in the elevator shaft. Then hit the button to go back down and jump off into this small little area to grab the second rose from this body. We can then drop down to the bottom floor and start working towards moving the Ferris wheel. Once the gents area is clear, we can go in there and grab the third rose from up on here. Now we can go over to the left of the Ferris wheel control. In Rapture Records, you can grab the 4th rose from behind this metal grate. And then we can go back and to the right side of the Ferris wheel to the Grand Carnival area. On this right side of the entrance, you can look inside this hole in the wall to grab the 5th rose. And then the 6th one will be over here in the room where you melt the ice in the ceiling. Just look up into the pipe of the ceiling for this rose. The 7th one will be in this right barrel over in this booth here. And then for the 8th one, you'll need to come over to this balloon popping booth and pop the bottom right balloon to reveal this one. The 9th one is going to be in this locked room over here. To get in, you'll need to put in the code 1951. Then after you run the enemy out to the controls to power up another Ferris wheel charge, we can go back to that room and grab the rose from on top of the light in the middle. Last one, we'll need to go back to the controls and keep powering it up until this part over here blows up, revealing the final rose inside of it. Then just run over to the little sister to rescue her. And now for the last challenge map, we have Worlds of Hurt. This is going to be the longest one, and of course we have the Rescuer achievement for rescuing the little sister, and the Expert one for completing it in under 15 minutes on medium or harder difficulty. Again, just check those videos for my playlist for how you can do that run, as this one is a tough one to do that quick. We then have Worlds of Hurt Tough Guy for completing the challenge map on medium or higher while only using the wrench, camera, plasmids, and tonics. For the Tough Guy run, you're essentially going to want to get plasmids and tonics that give utility and help you survive or kill things quicker. For any big daddies, you'll want to try to take control of bots or turrets and let them do the dirty work while you use the target dummy or freeze the big daddy. In the area with all of the big daddies, you can just use Incinerate on one of the rosies to aggro them, and then make them line up their shot on you so that they'll hit one of the other big daddies. That'll make them fight each other, and you can repeat that to get all of them killed. And other than that, it's not too hard to get through this. And then for the very last achievement, we have Worlds of Hurt Collector for finding all of the roses on that map. Starting this run, you'll go through it normally, but in the first arena, you're going to come over here between these pillars for the first one. Then for the second rose, it's going to be right here near the entrance of the single Big Daddy area. The third one is going to be in the security turret maze, directly over to the right of the entrance. Just walk over here and look into this machinery to grab it. Then the fourth one will be in this whole lot of enemies area. You'll have to come over here to the left of the Big Daddy, and it'll be sitting behind these pillow sandbags. Then over in the Houdini Splicer area, you can start going down here and jump down into this box. Behind this wooden board is going to be the 5th rose. For the 6th one, we'll go to the security bots area and make sure you bring the Incinerate Plasmid. Back over here where you kill this first guy, you can melt this ice in the corner to reveal this rose. Then we'll go over to the Spider Splicer area, and over here near the power to the people station, you can look down under this bench for the 7th rose. Then the last one on this map is going to be in the Lots of Big Daddies area. Down the wall from the exit hole, you're going to come over here to this piece of wood sitting along the floor, and between it and the wall is going to be the last rose. You can then just go ahead and finish out the challenge map and rescue the little sister to get this achievement. And with that, we now have all 100% of the achievements in Bioshock Remastered Edition. And now, why don't you go check out my Bioshock playlist for the rest of my Bioshock achievement guides, or whatever guide YouTube thinks you'd like while you wait for next week's video.